Hello again, it's TJ with the PTU Trend Jumper Trading Strategy at Netpicks.com. Many of you have heard me say that we've barely scratched the surface with the Trend Jumper strategy, and we're learning so many great ways to use it. We're approaching our 1-year anniversary, and our tried and true trade plans continue to perform well, hitting new record profit levels on a steady basis. But I'm starting to look at other types of charts. In case you're not familiar with this chart, this is a Renko Bar. It's a very unique chart. It's based on market range. Each one of these price bricks, in this case in crude oil, is a 5-tick brick. I'm not sure that this is the best size, but it seems to work really well. You can see this morning a lot of winners in here. But notice that the price quotes are at the 2.9 and the 2.4 level. That butts us up against 5s and 0s, which we call key levels. And so with Renko, you have to kind of fish a little. I want to get those numbers on 2s and 7s. I'll show you what I mean. So we'll look back an extra day and see if this loads up differently. Let's go to a new one here. It's not, this one's on 5s and 10s. We don't want to be on 5s and 10s. So let's go back another day. Renko's a little peculiar. Just have to trial and error your way to the quotes that you want, where those bars end up on 2s and 0s. There we go. On 2s and 7s, I mean. 107.12, 107.07. Alright, so 8:50 is the start time on crude. I'm not sure if that's what the best start time is for Renko, but we'll just stay with the plan that we've been using. So here we are at 8:54, and you can see by making that change to the 2s and 7s, that first trade ends up being a nice winner. You have to set this up so that all the entries and stops are on the borders of the bar, because as the bar is forming, it's going to hit some price levels that may not end up on the finished chart. This is only going to print when the new range occurs. Like once this bar exceeds 5 ticks above or 5 ticks below, then it's going to print that bar. Okay, so we don't have to worry about those price quotes. We just have to work around them. And the way we do that is by putting all entries and stops on the actual borders of each bar. Okay, and that's why we wanted to move the price off of the 1s and the 4s and the 0s and the 5s, because those are key levels with crude oil. Those are often areas where the price can get hung up and turn and go the other way. So I like to work around with a bar that has a 7 and a 2 in its quote, or an 8 and a 3. But because I've been using the 7s and the 2s, I just want to stay consistent with that every time. Okay, so let's take a look at this trade right here. This was the first trade of the day. Took a few bars to get to it, but it finally triggered in at 106.47, and we're targeting 106.12, way down here. And look how perfect that worked out. Now, as the trail comes down, the calculator is not really tuned to be able to put the trailer exactly on the bar border. So we just adjust. We just adjust to the nearest bar. And so it did come down and actually hit right here, and that one did end up on the bar. That one worked out great. Okay. The way I've got this set up is like this. Here's the entry. Here's the stop. 4 bars above. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we get the setup bar, and the entry is going to be 2 bars below that. Okay, and the stop will be 4 bars above the entry. But look at our target. So we got a beautiful risk-reward ratio on every trade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So almost 2 to 1. Not quite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4-bar risk, 7-bar target, and then of course a trailer. So look at trade number 2. Same type of setup. See the ratio, and look at how this one worked out. The setup bar happens here. 2 bars above is the entry. It triggers in. Here's your 4-bar risk. Here's our target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars above. See that? But look at how the trailer went all the way up to there. So we end up risking just a small amount to make this big amount. And remember, there was even no risk because once we got to, let's see, yeah, once we got to that first target right there, see, that's when the stop moved from here to here and went to break even. So then you have no risk on the trade except some trade costs. But that's how Renko works, and what I love about Renko is it kind of filters out a lot of the noise and catches the really large moves. I mean, you would have been bumped out of this move on some faster moving charts. A 377 tick, the second trade of the day, it got bounced out with a 1 tick gain with money management, and that was the second winner, so we had to quit, and then missed the next big move up due to the trade plan rules, because the tick chart will not filter out the noise as well as Renko. Sometimes Renko can get caught up in some choppy action. You can see over here, this was before our start time, but it hit the entry and was unable to make any progress. That could happen. Like any market or any chart that you look at, you can't avoid all the noise. So you could get caught up in it sometimes, and there will be some losing trades. But the thing is that you got that really great risk-reward ratio, and you do catch the nice moves when they happen. The trend jumper is really good at getting you in front of those moves. So you may want to consider Renko. Takes a little getting used to. It's a brand new thing as far as I'm concerned when it comes to using the trend jumper strategy with Renko, but I think you can see the potential. And like I said, trend jumper is so versatile. We've barely scratched the surface on what we can do. You've seen some new trade plans come up on the Owners Club for swing trading stocks and ETFs. Some really great 4-hour charts with Forex. We're looking at momentum bars now with some slower momentum bars to swing trade stocks. Some really great moving markets. But Renko is a whole world yet to be explored with trend jumper. And you can see that it will work really well as long as you understand the Renko bar and understand how to set up the trend jumper tool to accommodate the nature of Renko. Just before we finish this video, let's just kind of recap the current trade so we can continue to learn how this works. The setup was right here, so if you're at the edge of the chart, you don't know if there's going to be a setup until that bar closes, and then you get the setup, right? And it comes down, takes a couple bars, triggers in, and that's at 107.02, and we're targeting 106.67. That's 7 bars at 5 ticks a bar. The stop is 4 bars above, and you can see that it comes down, comes up. Look at the stop. Keeps us in the trade. And we don't know if this is going to go down. We don't know if this trade's going to win. But if it comes down to that first target, then we will lock in. Actually, we won't lock in, but we'll move the stop from here to here. And we'll have a risk-free trade at that point. And you can see that it's stuck on 107 right now. That's the current price. And you can see the price moving up and down. Again, we won't know really what happens until it either goes 5 ticks up from this bar or 5 ticks down from the low of this bar, which would actually trigger in an add-on trade, a setup that we're not really using with our day trading at this point. Okay, so that's a good look at Renko, and another great chart that's worth learning and worth, you can practice this, finish your main trading on your regular markets that you typically trade, and then you can practice Renko and get used to it. And you're going to really love how the trend jumper works with Renko. Thanks for joining me, everybody. This is TJ with the PTU Trend Jumper Strategy and Netpicks.com. I'll see you next time.